Hello and welcome everyone to the Let's Build Berlin Build Off Competition Results Show. I will introduce our amazing guests and then we'll get started. First we have Jason, aka Ami Polizei Funk, who is the brain master for this wonderful competition. We also have Sebastian Ruff, who is from the Waisenbrücke Museum, or no, I'm sorry, the Berlin Stadtmuseum. And we have Skibbeth, who is an awesome content creator, and he is one of the many awesome judges that we had for this competition. So fellas, would you like to welcome and say hello?
Sure, I'll go first. Yes. Why not? Hello, everybody. Hello, Twitch. Hello, YouTube. Hello, chat. Nice to see you guys all here today. It's a very special day for all of us after these many months of work and organizing. It's a special day for two reasons. One, because of this show, we get to announce the winners, of course, which I'm sure you're all excited to hear about. But then also, Sebastian and we just came from an event at the Waisenbrücke where with ships forming the bridge, so we'll tell you a little bit about that too. But anyway, I'm Ami Polizei Funk. Nice to see you all. Who's next?
How about Sebastian?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sebastian from the City Museum of Berlin, being responsible for some of the digital events there. And yeah, I'm happy to be on the stream, happy to have this wonderful team with me here on Twitch and on the Stadtmuseum. And yeah, really looking forward for the winner designs. So thanks for having me here.
And next up, Skibbeth.
Hello everybody, I'm glad to be here. I'm a YouTuber playing City Skylines for quite some time now. And I'm here part of this jury, this amazing jury, and happy to see all the builds that were done. And thank you all for inviting me.
Excellent. Let's chat real quick about the rules. Jason, can you do a quick overview of what the rules were for the contestants?
Sure. We released this great Berlin map that's incredibly accurate with one-to-one topography and all these beautiful trees by the asset creators imported from real-life data. So we had this kind of playing field. And so we gave the playing field to the players, and they downloaded it. And then we had two areas. We had one very focused area for the grand prize, where you recreate a Berlin bridge that was demolished in the 60s after it was damaged in World War II. So you recreate the Waisenbrücke, and the idea was that you do it in a way that's green, sustainable, that's not necessarily for cars, but for focusing on pedestrian access and bicycle access. And this leads directly to the Märkisches Museum, which is the central location for the Stadtmuseum, which just means City Museum of Berlin, of which Sebastian is the director of e-culture. And so the grand prize, and there are 3 places, 1, 2, and 3 for the grand prize, is focusing on your proposal for a new bridge. And then we also have a special prize because we wanted also to give you the freedom to build whatever you want in a larger area or around that location. So the special prize is for the area beyond the bridge, like the park behind the museum, and across the river, and all of the networks. There's a train track that runs through there, and there's roads and trams. And so the special prize really had almost no rules where you could do Berlin past or present or future. And so yeah, so we have 6 different winners that we're going to announce today. And we have a 3,000 euro prize pool, I have to say, that was sponsored by the Stadtmuseum and by Paradox Interactive. This is a collaboration between those 2 organizations. And then we also have, on top of that, we have hardware from Razer. So each prize winner will get like their new analog keyboard, which is pretty amazing, or a new mouse. And so each winner will get a piece of hardware from Razer. So thank you very much, sponsors, Paradox, Stadtmuseum, Razer.
Awesome. And let's chat about the Stadtmuseum just a little bit. Sebastian, can you tell us more about this museum if you're not familiar with it, for those of us that aren't familiar with it?
Yeah, sure. As the name says, we are the museum for the history of the city of Berlin, which is more than nearly 800 years old, and we've been there for the last 120, 130 years with different locations around the city. So we have a lot of historical buildings where our museums are in. So there's not one building that says City Museum of Berlin, but we have different museum locations. And one of those locations is the Märkisches Museum, as Jason said, our oldest museum building in 1908. And yeah, when it comes to the history of the city, you got to go to the Märkisches Museum. And for a long time, you could go there over the Waisenbrücke, over the Orphan Bridge, which leads directly to the Märkisches Museum, over the river of Spree. And yeah, right now we are missing this bridge, which could make us even more attractive for people coming in by bikes or being pedestrians. So yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've learned a little bit about the event and the competition and the bridge, let's look at a word from the museum's director.
Hello everybody, my name is Paul Spies and I'm director of the City Museum of Berlin. This beautiful building behind me, the Märkisches Museum, is part of that City Museum group. It's a beautiful building. It opened in 1908, and when it opened there was this beautiful bridge that was going to it. From this side, where you still have part of the bridgehead, to the other side, you would go to this beautiful building in the axis of the beautiful tower. Now, we need this bridge back. For pedestrians and for cyclists, we have a not so beautiful bridge on the other side, a bit away, far away, there is another one. We need this bridge to have this beautiful building in full view again and to have a landmark in Berlin over this very important element of the city history, the river Spree. So, thank you for participating in making beautiful designs and lots of success when the jury comes to a verdict.
All right, welcome back. So for the rest of this live stream, I will go over kind of what you can expect. We will be going through the top six the top six entries that are in the two different categories that Jason had mentioned previously, and we will be looking at what they made. We're going to have our guests speak on it a bit, and we'll be letting you guys know who won. So this is going to be a very exciting live stream, and best of luck to everyone who participated. There were many exceptionally awesome entries, and I'm sure we'll hear from Skibbeth especially how difficult it was to narrow it down. And then we also have some footage to show from the event that... Oh, we don't have footage from this morning. Never mind. Thank you.
I'll show some pictures later, though.
Okay,
I did get some pictures. Like, I literally just came from it, so
okay.
I was able to get some pictures. We'll show you those in a bit.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready for that. Then we can get started on awarding some prizes, if that sounds like it works for you.
I think we have a video from Mike Schleich, though, to show. He's actually an engineer.
Yes.
He was one of the jury members. And having him present on the jury was amazing because he's a professor at the Technical University in Berlin, and he also he builds bridges.
Okay.
So we have an absolute professional. So I'm very curious to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Hi, my name is Mike Schleich, and I'm professor at the Berlin Institute of Technology. I've been working in the field of footbridges for some 30 years. Footbridges are an important component of the city environment, of the built environment of our urban landscape, and they can add much to the culture of building, in German Baukultur. And they are exciting to work on as they bring together experts from numerous disciplines, civil engineers, architects, artists, landscape engineers and designers, and lighting experts have to work together to make it a Gesamtkunstwerk, to produce holistic quality. And this is important in the field of footbridges because they're graspable in the true sense of the word. They're important city furniture. And the city of Berlin is short of footbridges, and yet it has so many rivers and other interesting sites that are crying out for bridges. Therefore, I'm very happy to have been part of this jury. The international community of content creators has shown remarkable creativity and passion. Thanks for your designs, and thanks for making these amazing footbridges for the Waisenbrücke, for Berlin, for the Baukultur. Thank you very much.
All right, welcome back, and we will go right into the third place for the build overall in the extended area. So let's show some footage of that build, and then we'll talk about who the winner is and what their motivation was. So congratulations to third place, Jens! Yay!
Congratulations, Jens!
Congratulations,
Yes.
yeah.
Here's a brief description about Jens's build. The idea was to create a bridge that is a reconstruction of the original bridge and at the same time a modern interpretation of it. Looking at it from the east, it will almost appear as the stone arch bridge that was demolished in 1960, while a view from the west will reveal a terrace-shaped wooden extension whose appearance somewhat alludes to the former pile bridge from the early 1800s. New Waisenbrücke not only connects recreational spaces on both sides of the River Spree, the wooden extension and the median strip also act as recreational spaces themselves, extending the surrounding parks to the water. Strictly separated by the median, a wide bike lane could be part of a bike freeway connecting Kreuzberg with Berlin Mitte. In addition to reconstruction of the bridge, the park area and the museum was enlarged by closing roads for private motor vehicles. The park between the museum and the River Spree has a large area with natural grass and wildflower vegetation to sustain a set of beehives. So that was the description of the build. Let's hear from our guests what they thought.
Gibbet, do you want to go first?
Yes. So this was one of the most beautiful builds, not only for the bridge but also overall, right? Because that's I totally like the fact that the bridge had both some green spots there. The architecture of the bridge was pretty cool. He used some nice bicycle pathways, which will make lots of people very happy. The overview that we had and we got to see on the entire area, let's say around the bridge, was really beautiful. And the entire build itself, I liked it a lot, really. So congrats to Jason.
Jens. To Jens.
Jens.
And actually, funny story. I know Jens very well because he's been making Berlin assets for the game for 6 years, like from the very start. Over 200 assets, like just dozens and dozens of. But I didn't put it together that the Jenses who submitted this submission was the same Jens who I know from the workshop. And he actually created the Märkisches Museum, the Marine House, 2 other corners, this large, what is it called? What's the one across the street, Sebastian, that houses the models?
It's Senatsverwaltung, so it's a city administration building.
Right, and so he made that one as well. And he also, what's the building just behind you guys? It's like dark red or dark brick? He did that one as well.
It was an administration building
Behind
too,
the
and
park.
now there are flats there. Yeah.
Yeah.
A large apartment building.
Right, and so Jens actually made all of these assets, and most importantly, he made the Märkisches Museum, and he released them 2 weeks into the competition. So basically, he shared them so any contestant could use his work, which is just this captures the spirit of the community. He's sharing his work that any contestant could use it. And I think actually many of the other contestants did use the buildings that he created. So I'm very glad that he was one of the winners and selected by the judges. And I got to meet him for the first time today, and I'll talk more about that later when I show my pictures.
Nice.
Very, very cool. What a great tribute to this community. It's the sharing and the teamwork that really bonds this community very well together. All right. Does anyone else have anything they want to share about this build before we go on to second place?
Yeah, maybe a quick word.
Yeah, of course.
When we have selected the jury for this competition, we were luckily able to find persons being on one side of the river and also persons or initiatives being located on the other side of the river. And that's what I was completely grateful about in Jens's build, was that he took into account both sides of the river, creating a park which is on the one side and is resembled on the other side. So thinking about both sides of the River Spree is one of the best features of his build.
Very, very cool. All right, let's take a look at who won second place then. All right. Congratulations, Psycoop, on getting second place. What an exceptional build. I'll read a quick little recap of what they were thinking when they built it, and then we will talk with our guests. My version of Berlin is a combination of garden cities, which are on the buildings, and the real Berlin buildings. The Waisenbrücke is made in a castle style. In the middle is a bicycle path, and both side paths are pedestrian paths. In the area surrounding the museum, there are a few references to tourist attractions from other German cities. And that was the inspiration. Let's chat with this group and see what everyone thought. Who would like to go first? Skibbeth?
Yes, thanks, Elena. This build was had a bit of not everything, but almost everything. Like it was a complete area, that's for sure. We've seen it from pictures and from the video that he really invested a lot of time building and adding lots of buildings and whatnot. But definitely he went a tiny bit, let's say, far away and added some extra, I want to say science fiction.
Yeah,
Thank
science
you.
fiction. Yeah,
really hard.
sci-fi.
Sci-fi, yes.
Yeah.
Adding some huge statues on top of some buildings there that they are not in real life there, and some green areas also on top of those buildings. But all in all, was a good build, at least from what we've seen from the pictures and the video itself. Well done, and congrats.
Sebastian, would you like to chime in?
Yeah, Cycoop took the opportunity to tackle one of the major issues of Berlin, today's Berlin development, and that is combining historical city centers with a new architecture. The city center of Berlin, most of the buildings coming from the Middle Ages and even from the 18th and 19th century aren't there, or have been demolished in GDR times. So seeing him rebuilding Berlin, and putting so much work into the historical city center is a well-deserved second place.
And Jason.
Yeah. I just love that Berlin got a second layer, that there were bridges above these different blocks, and just, you know, it felt very futuristic just because it existed so vertically, you know, and that was cool. I like that bit.
Very nice. Congratulations again, Cycoop. All right, now let's look at the first place for the best builds overall in the extended areas. Congratulations, Sully Skylines, for getting first place. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Right. Yes. All right. Here is Sully Skylines' information about their build. My interpretation of Waisenbrücke Bridge, set in present-day Berlin, has been influenced heavily by the old bridge, opting to keep a historic European look and feel, as opposed to a new modern bridge. The tram line helps connect the Berlin Stadtmuseum locations and loops around the river back to the main train station. The tram is also important within the game itself to get a lot of footfall in the area, as I wanted it to be bustling and vibrant. The surrounding area targets tourism to make this popular hotspot both during the day and at nighttime, with the new Waisenbrücke Hotel with a rooftop spa and pool, an outdoor market for local businesses, riverside bars and restaurants, and a small fairground and amusement park on the other side of the river. The museum is the main attraction of the area, alongside a beautiful renovation of the park with a lake, basketball court, and table tennis facilities. Just like the Berlin Wall, this new bridge has seen a lot of graffiti appearing as artists find more areas to express themselves. Congratulations, Sully Skylines. This is exceptional. Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
I've shown this build to some of my colleagues yesterday and the day before, right? And they were completely in love with the idea of having a marketplace right in front of the museum, because it's not only making the surrounding area much more attractive and having the bridge leading to some focal point, but also because it's a nice metaphor for a museum, being a marketplace of ideas and making people come together. So, wow, blown away.
Awesome. And Jason, what are your thoughts on this one?
This one just, I mean, come on. I mean, I love this new Waisenbrücke Hotel with its own branding and the pool on the roof. I mean, this really was exactly the kind of thing we were looking for the special prize that goes beyond the bridge. I mean, his bridge was pretty cool too, but the area around the bridge was just so beautiful, and the video was so professionally produced. I really love, Sully, that you got in the ping pong table, just because that asset is so hot off the press, that must have just come out a few days before the submissions were due, and you managed to sneak it in there. So that's close to my heart. The Berlin spirit was well captured, and I got a message from Laureline, who is another collaborator at Paradox, who's watching the YouTube chat, that Sully says, woohoo! So bravo, Scully. Bravo.
And
Skib?
Yes, really nice job, Sully. You did there for sure. You built a nice area around the bridge itself. It's quite a tremendous amount of work you put it out there. Parks everywhere, green area. People were actually kind of a very busy area from what I've seen in the video. Lots of people gathering around there in the parks, walking. It felt full of life. The bridge was really nice done as well, with a tram going over it, and Jason already captured most of the ideas, but really great work for all of you guys. I can only say from my experience, the amount of work you put it out there, it's amazing. Well done, guys. And congrats.
Speaking of the tram line, Sebastian, you mentioned to me recently that there will be actually a new tram in Berlin that is going to cross the Spree, but not by the Waisenbrücke, right? It's going to be a little bit, it's going to be near Fischerinsel.
Yeah, it's going to be the next bridge, where a new tram line between Alexanderplatz and Potsdamer Platz, so two of the big squares in Berlin, which are going to be connected. But why not having a tram line or some kind of public transport leading to the Märkisches Museum? It's not impossible.
That was really cool. That was one of the unique features of this build, is the tram line integrated into the bridge. So that was quite impressive. Yeah. Anyway, bravo.
And congratulations again, Sully Skyline. I hope you are enjoying your win. So now we've given away the first 3 of the special prizes. We will be announcing the second half, the next 3 winners shortly. There are 3 more to be given for the best new Waisenbrücke bridge. And before we move on, though, I'd like to chat a little bit with our guests. So I will be asking them some questions, and hopefully they'll have some entertaining answers. Jason, let's start with you. Can you tell us a bit about how the contest came to be and where you got the idea?
Well, I was fortunate enough to be approached by Sebastian on Twitter, and if you remember the City Builders videos, you had one with Bisquelhausen that's called A Fortunate Tweet, and I felt like I was experiencing the same kind of thing where Sebastian approached me, we sent some DMs back and forth on Twitter, and this was maybe a year and a half ago. And then slowly but surely, we met in person for the first time. We stood on the little bridge to Fischerinsel, and we had a coffee, and we talked about how can we bring a new audience to the museum. And that's where the collaboration began. And interestingly enough, we both simultaneously had the idea to have a competition. Because I had always wanted to have a competition where people build aspects of Berlin. I've wanted that for years and years. And then Sebastian also had the idea that, let's do a competition. And there's this bridge that, we're trying to campaign to get it reconstructed. And so there were a lot of harmonious parts that all fell into place at the correct time.
Nice. And you obviously planned the assets and the maps and worked really hard with a lot of other creators to do so, to recreate Berlin. Can you tell us more about this process?
Yeah, I can tell you, and in fact, I can even show you. I think this might be a good time. I've made a little slideshow for you guys, and if Nurgle is ready, perhaps I can just
we're good.
Briefly show you some pictures. All right, Nurgle, throw up that first slide. So this is just some art that we made, and it shows the 3,000 euro prize pool for Berlin. And now this is a Blender render of 1 meter topography. If you know anything about gathering height data from a real world place, the quality of the data is based on, how close each point is together. And so with the help of the city, basically, Sebastian would put me in touch with the city people who collect the data for Berlin, the agencies, and with their help, we were able to obtain 1 meter resolution terrain data. And so this is a Blender render that's not even all of the data, but you can see how wonderfully recreated. You can even see the galleries where the trains go, and unlike most data that you can get easily, this has been cleaned by human beings where they remove all of the buildings, they remove all of the highway structures, and it's just the ground level. So that's the hardest thing, is to find that cleaned data. They call it categorizing. They take the laser data and they categorize it. So we were able to get this beautiful topography and turn it into a city skylines map with the help of my collaborator Seb, not the same Sebastian here, but another Seb who helped me convert this data and get it into city skylines, also with the help of Cuboid, because it required Move It to get these trees in. We were able to go to the city databases again and download 368,000 trees that were in our 17 kilometer square map. And here I'm using this QGIS software, which is a cartography software that I had no idea how to use, but a representative from an agency in Berlin said, just grab this software, it's free, you can download the trees that way, and then you can export it in different formats. And so we were able to download all of the trees and then export it into a list with XY position, and we were able to convert that into a Move It export file, like 3 Move It. They were so big that we needed 3 of them. So we got 3 Move It export files, and we loaded all of the trees into the city skylines map. So here you have 368,000 real world trees that actually exist in their exact locations. And not only that, but they are represented by like 60 or 70 different workshop models. So you have the likes of Mr. Mason, shout out, I know you're in the Twitch chat. What's up, Mr. Mason? And P. Delmo from Australia, Mr. Mason from Brooklyn, creating trees to then be part of this massive production. So we made a key that says which workshop tree should go in for which real life tree, right? So maples are maples, and linden trees are linden, and oaks are oaks, and so forth. And we even discovered some trees that were missing from the City Skylines workshop, and then Mr. Mason just jumps in and he creates them. So, for example, we didn't have any burgundy colored trees in the workshop, and Mr. Mason just busts in and he makes this, it's called the Crimson King. It's a maple tree, and it's a burgundy color, and suddenly we have this new beautiful tree that, it's great for this project, but it's great for everybody who plays City Skylines, because now they have a whole other category of tree to add to their maps. And so great big shout out to Mr. Mason and to P. Delmo, who made a hazel tree and a hornbeam tree. So big shout outs to these guys. They were part of this whole process. This is interesting because these are the buildings that of the third place winner for the special prize. These are the buildings that Jens created that we were referencing. And so for Sebastian and I, we were just standing right here watching the boats make this bridge. And so this is a weird experience for us because we just saw this view in real life, and then now we're doing the stream, and then here are the buildings, and Jens won this prize. It's like all these different things coming together from different areas. So a shout out again, Jens, to not only making these buildings, but sharing them with the other contestants. And so here are different parts of Berlin. You can see Armesto's Dome, and you can see the Siegessäule, and just other parts of Berlin that you could automatically load in. So we gave you some parts, for this the big build. We gave you some little parts to load in, but you can see even in these pictures, there's so much blank space that we left tons of work for you to do, like put in all the streets, put in more trees, and make all the connections to the roads and so forth. Here finally is the overview of the playing field. It's kind of like the baseball pitch, it's like a diamond with bases. Well, the pitch for our competition is right here. And that golden circle is the focus on the Waisenbrücke and the Märkisches Museum. And these are the 3 grand prizes that we're about to announce after this short intermission. And so finally, just a shot of the overlay. It's just pretty amazing that this is City Skylines, right? We're looking in-game at City Skylines, and and you can see the lights from the highways, but this is the overlay like at nighttime, and you can just see the dots for where all the trees go, and it's becoming so close to reality that the two can get a bit confused. I included this picture. This is from this morning. It's Sebastian on the left. That's Jens, actually, second from left, and his friend Michael. And then we have Yegor, who you all might know, is Bloody Penguin. And so Bloody Penguin is standing next to me, and then that's me, Jason, Ami Polizeifunk on the far right, and the Märkisches Museum in the background. So that's where we were this morning, and you can kind of see behind Sebastian the line of boats. And so I tried to take some pictures of the boats. Maybe, Sebastian, you could chime in. This Augusta is an old steamer, right?
Yeah, I think this is the oldest boat being used today.
And it's from 1863? Is that right?
Yeah, he said 1863, so wow.
Incredible. Yeah, that was amazing that we had two of these old steamboats, and they didn't just, like, the idea was that they kind of all line up next to each other and form where the bridge was, so you could kind of visualize, see what it would be like if there was a bridge there. But they formed the bridge like 6 or 7 times. They kept like shooting in and shooting out and reconvening, and they were all organized, via some kind of communications. And here we're down actually right on the water. Little pic of you, Sebastian, there. Got the mask off for a second. You can see the boats starting to line up behind him. And then here is another shot of that awesome August with the Märkisches Museum in the background. And finally, my last slide. Oh, no, that is my last slide. And so big thanks to Sebastian for inviting us, and to all of these interested parties who would love to see the Waisenbrücke recreated. Maybe, Sebastian, you could tell a little bit about the historical harbor and their function in all of this?
Yeah, if you like.
Please.
The boats you were seeing are part of the historical harbor, which are in the direct neighborhood of the Märkisches Museum. So they are in when it comes to recreating a Waisenbrücke, because they all want to have this area a bit more in the focal point, and they want a Waisenbrücke. So we are cooperating. I have been cooperating for the last years, and so it was their event. They came up to us and said we could do a bridge with our boats, and I was thinking,
it's a crazy idea.
Well, and then today they did the Waisenbrücke with their boats. So wow, shout out to the historical harbor.
Yeah, we were actually an official demo, and there were times when they all honked their horns, and we had like police protection. It was the whole Berlin 9 yards. All right, that's our show. Helena.
So exceptionally cool. Lots of cool information. One last question for you, Jason. How long did it take for you to prepare all of this?
Well, the thing with the map was that we wanted to get this kind of high quality topography and these real life trees. It's something I wanted for years. Like, since I started playing the game for 4 years, I wanted this. But I wasn't able to do it until the right things fell into place, until like Cuboid's Move It became powerful enough to restore all these trees at once, until I was given the actual like download links to the data. I never had. It's really hard to find that clean data. Sebastian even arranged an interview with one of the people that works for the city that maintains and cleans the data, and he was telling us about how they categorize like different parts as foliage or as building or as ground. And so this is like a process that the city is continually, like, they do flyovers, they do aerial flyovers every 2 years. It's part of the city's like mandate that they're going to keep updating this big database. And so it took all of these things falling into place until we were able to get to it. So calculating how much time is spent is pretty impossible, but we worked for many months just on the map and converting the data. And the fun thing was that once it was finished, it was so exciting for me just to fly around on my own map. I don't feel like I really made it. I was just a part of the conversion process. And then once I was able to fly around and see all these real life trees, or see patterns of trees that I didn't even know existed, and then, oh, that's interesting, what's that? And then I look on the real Berlin map, and then I want to go visit these places. And so for me, the whole aspect of playing the game and making the map and creating the locations is about like discovering the world around me, discovering Berlin. So, you know, it's just an ongoing thing. I'm working on it all the time, basically.
Nice. Well, you can tell, like, you put a lot of work into it, and it shows. It's so exceptionally cool and uniquely big and just super exciting. My next question is for Sebastian. A collaboration between a museum and a video game is pretty unusual. What was interesting for you as the head of e-culture at the Berlin Museum to get involved with this project?
Yeah. Maybe before answering this, two more points. Jason, wouldn't have been possible without you putting that much effort into it. Thanks a lot. And it would also not been possible without the city of Berlin publishing all this data under a free license. So it's open access. We didn't have to pay anything for it. So this important for me to mention that all this data is there for the citizens of Berlin and everywhere around the world to use. So thumbs up for open data. And now when it comes to answering your question, I would say there were two things that are very important for me in this process. And the first thing is I'd like to start with a quote from the jury meeting last week, and one of the jury members not having anything to do with city skylines, like learning the game while sitting in the jury, said it's more than a game, or it's not just a game. And this is what it is. You can't take all the effort and expertise and creativity seriously enough. This was something that I wanted to share with all my colleagues in the museum and all the guys I was talking to, that yes, it's a computer game. Yes, it's something that all of the players, or most of the players, doing in their spare time. But when it comes to topics, it has to be taken very, very seriously, because it opens a door into discussions about the future of our cities, right? We are not just building some kind of bridge somewhere in a city that doesn't exist, but right now we're into a discussion, and the jury has been into a discussion about a real bridge and real world problems being mirrored into city skylines and maybe even solved within city skylines. So this is the first thing, which is very important for me to say. Working together with Paradox and all the gaming community is not something that you can just put away in the corner of gaming or gamification. It's really more than that. And the second one is the term of outreach, which is a thing in the museum field, reaching out to audiences which don't have anything to do with the museum and the museum topics. And this is very important for me too. Of course, Jason, you know the City Museum and the Märkisches Museum because you go all around the city with your bike. But most of the participants are not coming from Berlin, I bet. And getting in touch with them, talking about our museum, and listen to them, being in contact and doing something together is also very important for our e-culture, so for our digital Stadtmuseum thing, because we want to get in touch with our audience, not just within our museums, which are closed right now, unfortunately, but reaching out to them and getting to where they are. And this is why I'm on Twitch right now, because we want to be where the community is. So
Well, you've definitely inspired me. Next time I'm in Germany, I want to come visit your museum.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Are the submissions that you received from this contest, are they what you and your team expected, or something completely different?
Well, I have to admit, I was sending some text messages to Jason asking him, are there any results? Can we sure that there will be results? I don't know what to expect of it. So I was a bit nervous because, and he was always telling me, come on, relax. 2 days before the competition ends, there will be some results, and then you have your bridges, and here we are. We have our bridges. So I'm not really sure what I expected. I expected some creative results, but I knew the game beforehand, so I'm not. I'm a regular YouTube. I see some of the YouTube videos, and I'm playing the game myself. But I think I was still overwhelmed by the results, by the details, by the ideas, and yeah, we will see the best ideas and the 3 main prizes, but wow, still overwhelmed.
Yeah, absolutely. This community is always showing up and doing the hard work. What are the next steps for the museum? Do you get inspiration from any of these submissions to pitch a project for a new bridge?
Yeah, of course we do. This is why we were asking specifically about building a green bridge, a pedestrian and bike-friendly bridge, because we think that this will be the real future of the Waisenbrücke. So this event is one of the cornerstones of our activities in the next month and even in the next year, I think. Getting a Waisenbrücke will be a marathon and not a sprint, to use a metaphor which has been used quite often before. But yeah, we need to get the politicians on our side and showing them that people from around all over the world have made their designs for the Waisenbrücke is very important for us. And the other thing is that if the community wants it, we could also continue a collaboration with Paradox and the community, maybe recreating some other stuff in Berlin. So this build-off, when it comes to me, won't be the last one together with the Stadtmuseum Berlin.
Oh, yay, exciting news. Well, we have been so happy to participate and to collaborate with y'all. So I'm hoping it's just the start of something great. I'm going to move over to Skibbeth now and ask you a couple questions. Tell us a bit about your experience as a member for the competition. What was the most interesting part for you to be when you looked among the creations?
Well, it's my experience in a jury was something total, and it is actually something totally new. 2 years ago, I think, in 2019, I've been the part of the first contest global build-off at Berlin, and was a great experience being part of the contest itself. And now I feel like I'm on the other side of the barricade and looking from a different perspective, not building anything, just watching and see how people do their builds, how they take their inspiration, how their builds look like. So definitely it's a new type of experience for me, and I'm really thankful for that to Jason and Sebastian. And now, what was my what you were asking me for? What was my interesting thing for me to see? Well, I was looking forward to see the amount of work everyone will do, the inspiration, the way everyone sees this bridge, because this bridge is, can be seen from different perspectives. I know because I've been in this jury and talking with a few other very experienced people and seeing all sorts of ideas, and everyone was seeing the bridge in his own way. So I was looking forward to see what each competitor was thinking of, how he will see this new bridge, how he will think of it, and what this bridge can be for himself and of course for community in Berlin. So yeah, that was I was really looking forward for this.
Excellent. And what do you think was probably the most challenging thing for the creators?
Well, now hearing Jason's story about the amount of work he put on this map, definitely big congrats on that, on his work. I know it's about the competitors. Everyone added a lot of work. There are no doubt about it. Some built more, some built less, but everyone came with something that was totally unique. And from my perspective as a builder, because I play this game almost on a daily basis, I've seen some new stuff and some really interesting type of builds. Some were harder to do, some were easier to do, and all in all, things went pretty good. And you'll see the next three representations that will be top-notch. That's
Excellent.
For sure.
Well, let's get started and look towards those next three winners. So let's talk a bit about, now we're going to be looking at the best new Waisenbrücke bridge and immediate surrounding area. So we were looking at like a more wide area for the first three, and then this is focusing more on the bridge.
Helena, we have
Yes.
one video before we get into the the final prizes.
Yes, and before we watch that video, I was going to ask you, were there any special details that needed to be considered when the judges were judging this this category specifically?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a criteria for the bridge. We didn't just want any old bridge, you know. We didn't want you to drag, because the thing about this area is that we already have a car bridge kind of near it. It's called Waisenbrücke, and so this bridge, you know, it was interesting because it's recreating a bridge that was destroyed after the war, but it's also, we wanted it to be new. We wanted it to be like something special, a landmark, something where you'd want to make an Instagram, you know, shot of yourself on the bridge and enjoying the surroundings, and something that brought accessibility to the museum. Because although this museum is right in the center of Berlin, it's kind of off the beaten path because there is no beaten path directly to it. We need this bridge to make it pedestrian accessible, you know, to really make it a location that's easy to get to from the other very popular places in Berlin, like Alex. And so we made a criteria that we wanted this bridge to be, you know, pedestrian friendly, cycle friendly, and we wanted it to be green and sustainable. And so we gave the contestants, you know, a little bit to run with, and you'll see that they ran with it.
Excellent. And you had mentioned we're going to watch a video. Tell us a little bit about it before we watch it.
I think actually Sebastian should introduce
Yep.
this, because this is really one of our amazing jury members.
Cool.
Yeah, Stefan, he's part of the jury, and Jason has used the word green like 5 or 6 times, because it's important for us to have a green bridge, and therefore it was very fitting to have a candidate of the Green Party running for House of Representatives in Berlin, being part of the jury, and he's also a member of the Changing Cities initiative. So there are a lot of things going around talking about the future of Berlin traffic, the future of living in Berlin, and being more eco-friendly, bike-friendly, and pedestrian-friendly is, of course, one of the major points of the agenda, not only of the Green Party. So, Stefan, candidate for the Green Party, has handed in his video as a kind of greeting from the jury.
All right, let's check it out.
Good afternoon. My name is Stefan Lehmkühler. I'm a member of Changing Cities, a civil society organization focused on the so-called mobility change, Verkehrswende, here at Berlin. Also candidate for the House of Representatives at the Green Party here at Berlin, and also a member of the jury. First of all, I would like to thank you for all your wonderful proposals, filling the gap here at the inner city of Berlin by proposing a new Waisenbrücke. Die neue Waisenbrücke, one of the biggest projects here at Berlin Center. And I would like to thank you for all the proposals being
Bigger, kleiner, umgedreht, Bäume hier, dann waren auch Bäume da, den großen Bogen, der da drin, die Vierecke, die sich immer weiter gedreht haben, und die Bäume, die zweispurig dann auch noch waren, die Rampe da vorne vor allen Dingen, großes Ding, das war super. Dann hier nochmal die Brücke, 2 Etagen übereinander, die eine mit dem grünen Haus mit Aussichtsplattform, wo man rübergucken konnte, und die andere in die Richtung. Das war einfach eine großartige Geschichte. Bin ich sehr dankbar dafür, dass ihr das gemacht habt. Danke für eure Geschichten, danke für eure Proposals.
But to be very frank with you, I'm very thankful for your proposals because I hate swimming. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Stefan, for your video and for your great work helping our jury. Let's get started and find out who the top 3 bridge area contestants are.
Are you guys ready?
Drum roll.
Are you guys ready for the grand prizes?
Are we ready? Well, let's find out. Let's go ahead and take a look at 3rd place. All right, 45 seconds. Ooh, it's pretty. Congratulations, Elite! Yay!
Bravo, bravo,
Yes.
bravo.
Well done.
Very well done. I'm going to read a little bit about Elite's inspiration. The bridge contains one bike lane and one main pedestrian lane. Intertwined with these are secondary walkways that are more secluded, as well as observation decks, creating spaces for meditation, relaxation, and nice views of the surrounding spree and city. Large planters allow for trees to grow on the body of the bridge, while smaller planters allow for other vegetation to grow there. On each side of the river, the bridge has multiple connections to the city. There are connections to the street level, to elevated bike lanes going above the car roads, and to elevated garden paths deep in greenery. The area in close proximity to the bridge and the museum is a balance between accurate recreation to the level of restaurant signs and outdoor museum displays, and giving it my own take and integrating the area close to the bridge with the bridge itself. In the greater city area, it looks like a huge mess at the moment, including remnants of a project I started when I thought I had more time. But it's highly detailed too, so give it a look if you happen to open this build on your PC. Again, congratulations, Elite. This is beautiful. Let's take a look at what our guests have to say. Sebastian, let's have your opinion first.
Maybe a word about the general jury discussion at this site, so that you guys out there know. We met last week and discussed for about 3 hours of all the builds. And I've noted some things about Elite's build that I'm going to read out to you to show how seriously this discussion was taken. It's not just about the creativity and the building quality and the effort, but it's also about how realistic this bridge is. And we were talking, I don't know, Skip, maybe it was your argument, that if you have like a hanging structure above the head of the persons crossing the bridge, you would have problems with ice and snow falling down. Then how important is the upkeep of a green bridge? How much money does it cost to keep a green bridge green? So that you see, we have had a really nice jury discussion, and what we have here is, I think, the most artistic bridge of the top 3. So that was what I really liked about this, the structure and the light violet color. So yeah, very nice 3rd place.
All right, Skibeth, why don't you tell us a little bit more about how the jury decided this?
Yeah, thanks, Elena. Yeah, it was not me saying mentioning that, Sebastian. Someone else was saying that. But indeed, this is one of the top 3, a list of my favorite builds out there. It looks amazing. He did a great job there. The amount of work, it can be seen. He played a lot, for sure, with the procedural object mod that I love the most. My favorite, guilty. I can see how much work it is here. I like the fact he played a lot with the shapes, with those purple nice shapes, and created an interesting architecture for this bridge. Also, the entire surrounding area was very green, full of trees, bushes, and all sorts of colors. He even chose a really good LUT, that's for sure. This LUT makes things look even better from our perspective. But all in all, I totally love this build. It deserves to be in top 3, that's for sure. And that's where it is, right? And yeah, it has everything. Greenery, a pedestrian side of the bridge. There is also for bicycles. It's for everything, for everyone. You can even stay there and sit for a few good minutes just enjoying the view.
Nice. And Jason, what are your thoughts?
Well, this bridge was very special because I think it was the most most artistic, or it was like the most bold. It was wild. You know, these lavender structures of steel, the way they integrate into the different paths, and how the paths then integrate into the shore on either side of the bridge. That's all, you know, if you've ever built a bridge in city skylines, you know how difficult it is to deal with these elevations, it's really a challenge. But he manages to, like wind the bike path down back onto the layers and have, I mean, it's a really dense, vertical, lots of artistic quality, a beautiful bridge. As mentioned, the video is so slick. It's just gorgeous to watch. I watched it a couple times, because it was just such a beautiful looking bridge. And the jury, it was just to recount, I was kind of at the jury meeting too, just to kind of answer questions about the game or whatever. I wasn't a member, but I really enjoyed the discussion. And this was one of those bridges that sort of challenged the realists in the jury, because the people that have built bridges and know about like what it takes to maintain a green bridge or a densely green bridge with trees on it. I mean, they understand the like engineering and maintenance challenges on the deepest levels, and this was the kind of bridge that like pushed all of those boundaries really far. So it's almost like too wild and beautiful to be realistic, but that's great because a lot of the jury members loved it, that it was bold and that it was daring. And because we don't want just a functional bridge here, we're looking for something that's going to make a statement and be memorable. So this bridge definitely fulfills those categories.
Well, way to go, Elite. Very gorgeous, very exciting, and congratulations. Let's take a look at who got second place then. Congratulations, Art Pulse Bites! Yay!
Oh,
Well done. Very good.
Super exciting. They had a quick little recap on what they did to build it. They said the new Waisenbrücke, renamed the project to Brücke in Berlin, is an arch bridge tied exclusively for pedestrians and bicycles. It offers a simple but at the same time unique design, having different views of the area when crossing it, connecting museums to the areas around the River Spree, and a unique tourist attraction for its visual scenery around the city. Simple, elegant way to put it. Good job, excellent work, Art Pulse Bites. Let's check out what our guests have to think. Jason, let's have you go first.
Sure. Just to continue on with the previous ideas that I mentioned between sort of art and reality and like what's feasible or what's making a statement, what's bold. This bridge is the counterpoint to the last bridge. While the last bridge would perhaps be unfeasible for maintenance and for the realistic opportunities that such a bridge would be built, like this bridge is the opposite, where this bridge could very potentially be built. It's simple enough and it's clean enough and it's not like crazy enough, not too crazy with regards to how much greenery would need to be maintained. And the judges really appreciated that it provided really nice viewing, not only like to the west and to the east, but also right down through the middle of the bridge. So it had this very interesting concept of watching the boats come under you on both sides, and there's the pedestrians are separated from the bikes and they can both watch on both sides, and the feasibility of this bridge was one of its strongest selling points.
Right on. Skibbeth, what was your and the jury's opinions?
Yeah, Jason covered pretty well indeed. This was one of the most feasible bridges. And we debated a lot, all of us, in the back in the days, back last week, about this. And this is a simple bridge, and it's made out of that arch with those cables. The thing that actually kind of was like for everyone liked that thing, that arch, those cables, and the build itself in the game. It's quite easy, but it's very simple. Looks nice. It looks like it's split in two, and for sure it's one nice and simple bridge that does the job, right? I mean, you cross the bridge, you have a nice look on top of it, you see the boats, and then go on the other side.
Yeah, it works for me. Sebastian, what were your thoughts?
Starting with a quote from the jury, from Mike Schleich, the engineer and bridge expert, and he said, and it was one of the highest praises you can get from him, it could work from a structural point of view, he said. And this is very important because, it's not just about design, it's also about thinking about how a bridge could work in the game and how a bridge needs to be designed. I think renaming the bridge to Green Bridge is very logic when you come to that the bridge is not a redesign of the historical Waisenbrücke, but it should form as an independent landmark. And we in the jury were discussing a lot about whether a bridge can be a landmark that the tourists come to see, or whether the landmark is rubbed off after 1 year and then it's a bridge, only a bridge. But yeah, being the green arch could form a new landmark for the Märkisches Museum nearby. Great, well done.
Yes, very cool. And we only have one left, so we should probably check that out.
Right, it's almost over.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, this event has been many months in the making. Congratulations, Assad! Yay!
Wow.
Yeah.
You're the grand prize winner, sir! 1,000 euros and a new analog mechanical keyboard. Congratulations. My goodness. Take it home.
Yeah, super gorgeous, super amazing. And I can't wait to find out what our guests thought of this amazing award-winning bridge. Let's chat with Skibbeth first, who was in the jury, and find out what the jury thought.
Yes, thanks, Elena. Well, this bridge, top notch, deserves the win. It's one beautiful bridge, very green. We loved it. All of us loved it. And I like the fact that it's on two levels, and I like the green part a lot as well. I know it is very hard to maintain such thing because you have to water those plants and whatnot. But hey, from my eyes perspective, I totally love it. Those bike pathways goes right underneath it, and I believe they don't meet in the middle there. One goes to the right, one goes to the left side when you cross the river, which is really great. And the amount of work, for sure, it can be seen. Even for those who don't play the game itself, it can be seen. For sure, Assad worked a lot with procedure objects. Actually, we know him. He's a master at POs. And hashtag, guys, everyone in the chat, go with some hashtag PO for life. But yeah, one great build. I like the all the details there, and again, the work that he put it out here, it's really amazing. Congrats, Esad, congrats.
Yes. And Sebastian, what did the museum and what did you think about this entry?
We are incredibly happy with this entry and a well-deserved first place. And I reached out to Esad, and so I can say this guy from Sweden catch the Berlin vibe. He combined the four elements which were mostly important for us as a museum and for Berlin as such. So you get a fast bike traffic crossing this bridge, you get separate pedestrian traffic, you get good views to the city at being an Instagrammable spot, and you got the green bridge. So wow, check marks on all of those things. So for me, the best bridge in the contest. Congratulations.
Excellent. And Jason, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, this bridge it's it can be the poster child for this entire collaboration between the museum and the game. Esad took it way above and beyond, took it to the next level, and just showed us, he pushed the limits of what the game can do, and it's just so beautiful. You almost feel cooler when you're looking at it. You can just feel like it. You just want to breathe it in. You want to be there. You want to hang out there. You want to have a conversation there. One of the jury members made a very nice. He created this nice way of saying, like, does it have stay? Is there stay quality to the bridge was one of the things we looked at, because we didn't want just something you could cross. We were interested in a place where you could have conversations, where you could enjoy the view, where you could watch the boats go by or the trains. And this bridge definitely makes you want to just be there. And, I'm not even talking about it like as a game object anymore. I'm talking about it as a real thing. And so, when you get to that level, that's your winning bridge. It's easy, this, maintenance, whatever, it makes a statement. It shows that Berlin cares about a sustainable future, cares about keeping green spaces, and because this whole project, getting the trees into the game, and not just any old trees, but trees by the top asset creators, and getting them in their right places and just admiring them. Like, I've learned so much about trees and about nature just from doing this, and I think that this bridge takes everything that we wanted from this project and puts it all together in one spectacular object. And this is the kind of thing I just can't wait to share screenshots with with news agencies or other museums or other people that are interested in what you can do with the game, because if they ever ask you, what are the capabilities of this City Skylines game, we'll just say, look at this bridge, look at this. And so, and also as a cyclist, I love that the cycle lanes are on the lower level and that they're separated, and that I don't have to worry about running into looky-loop pedestrians taking pictures of themselves, being like phone zombies or whatever. Like, I've got my own, it's also like an excellent transportation bridge. I can see myself on my bike using it, and loving using it, enjoying using it, and, it bringing me right into the Merkisches Museum. So, bravo, Esad, congratulations. You are our first place winner.
Yay! And we've heard what they have to say. This is what Esad said about their build. The focus of this build has been to create a car-free zone around the Merkisches Museum, as well as provide several different means of transportation to and from the museum. This includes the new Waisenbrücke that is designed as a park spanning over the Spree, connecting the two other parks on each side. The idea is to make the bridge and parks feel as one element, at the same time contribute to the 2030 agenda by adding biodiversity and nature to the city. A new tram track connects the museums. A dedicated museum line on this track with historical tram cars would further increase the appeal for visitors and that want the full museum experience. The underground parkings are added for the residents and visitors of the redesigned area, also attracting more restaurants and places of relaxation that further adds a more vibrant feeling, creating a new city center of the future. Indeed, that is exactly what you built. Congratulations, you're amazing. And yeah, hopefully this build and the other ones really inspire Berlin to, go ahead and put a new bridge there, which is the plan. Way to go. Good job, everyone. This has been such a fun experience, as I was saying, from the beginning to the end, when Jason and Sebastian came to City Skylines and said, we want to do this, and our team was on board, and to watch this whole entire project from beginning to now the end finally has been really wonderful, and we're so grateful to have been a part of it. And today was the final day, and it was a special day because it's called Bridge Day. Sebastian, can you tell us a little bit about what Bridge Day is for those who aren't familiar with the concept?
Bridge Day is one of the most famous days in Germany and everywhere around the world. If you have a bank holiday, a national holiday, maybe on Thursdays or on Tuesdays, you take the day off before or afterwards to have a long weekend. So you bridge the gap between the holiday and the weekend, and this is called Bridge Day. And today is one of those Bridge days. So we had the day off, and today we're celebrating Bridge Day, and tomorrow it's Saturday. So this is it.
Yes, thank you. So, quick debrief. Does anyone want to share their final thoughts? Jason?
I want to give big thank yous where they're due. First of all, to the Paradox folks working behind the scenes. We have Laureline, who is moderating YouTube chat right now, who was the sort of lead organizer with Sebastian from Paradox's side. And thanks to Jonathan Whitley, who was a jury member and who has been the main City Skylines contact person for everything that we've been doing. So thanks, John. And of course, Nurgle, who's behind the scenes running this stream. But then also I want to give huge thanks to my content creator collaborators. So we have two coders, and that's Cuboid, who I'm sure you all know, who made Move It. And like without Move It, this whole competition wouldn't be possible. I couldn't have made the map. These guys couldn't have created these amazing submissions. And so thank you, Cuboid, for maintaining that incredible mod and adding all these incredible features, and for collaborating on this project with us. And also to my other coder, Seb, who managed to convert all of that great city data into stuff that we could load into the game. And then, of course, we have the three content creators. We have two tree makers, Mr. Mason, bravo, sir, and Pidelmo. Thank you so much. What you two have changed the game. The two of you have changed the game. You've made all of our builds more beautiful and more green and more wonderful. And also a thanks to Victoria City, who did the CSUR Reborn version of the Berlin map. So thanks to all the collaborators, Sebastian, Helena, Skibbeth. It's been so fun to do this stream with you, and I really appreciate that this is kind of a new thing. It's a collaboration between a city museum and a gaming developer. We want more of this. Let's do more. It's such a cool thing. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Anyone else like to say something? Yes, Sebastian.
Yeah. Thanks to all of you being in the stream with me and being extremely guest friendly. Thanks a lot. Thanks to all the jury members. Please have a look at the Paradox forums for the jury members, for the names and their positions. I won't name them because 11 of them, and then it will be 6 p.m. here. So thanks to all the jury members. Skip, of course, I'm naming you personally because thanks for participating, and thanks to all my colleagues working on the national holiday yesterday, working on the weekend today and tomorrow. Esat, you will be in the Berlin newspapers and news today and on Monday. So shout out to all the content creators. And my last thing to say is reach out to us as the City Museum of Berlin. Whenever you're online, we're on all the relevant channels, and if you're in Berlin, just give us a quick notice. We could meet and talk about all kinds of possible collaborations, because outreach is something that we want to do. Thanks.
Thank you. Skibbeth, do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, please. Yes, thank you. First of all, I want to start with saying thanks for the invitation to all of you. This was a great collaboration indeed from Paradox and the museum itself. And then with this amazing community we have over here. Everyone, everyone just added a lot of work. I just heard out how much Jason and Sebastian worked behind the scenes, doing the map and discussing about stuff. Lots of collaborators, content creators that came with trees and assets and whatnot, plus so many other content creators that are out there and doing a lot of work on this. And not least, guys, I wanna encourage every one of you to participate at this contest. First of all, it's super fun. Second of all, it's, you know, you are being part of something really, really nice and great. And it's really pleasant to see your work being discussed by someone or shown somewhere. And again, the amount of fun, it is amazing. Trust me, I've been there. I've seen that. Now I'm a part of the jury, and it was fun as well. So guys, do participate in the future because I believe there will be more projects.
Absolutely. On behalf of Paradox Interactive as well as City Skylines team, thank you for participating. Thank you for coming to us with the idea. Thank you to every single one of you who participated, who submitted their entry. This was not easy for the jury, I've heard. It was a long process to pick the winners. So congratulations to everyone who participated, not just the people who were featured today. Check out all of the entries on our Paradox forum, where you'll also see the rest of the jury list and more information about every entry. Again, congratulations to Jens, Psycoop, Sully Skylines, Elite, Art Pulse Byte, and Assad. And if you enjoyed this, yes, please participate in other build-offs that we do and other events that we run. We have PDXCon next week, and we have a global build-off there that we will be reading the winners off for, as well as other really cool, exciting, great interactions and activities going on. So check it out. And thank you again, everyone, for participating in this great, super cool experiment that worked really well and hopefully inspires Berlin to build that bridge. Thank you.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed, thumbs held. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.